how did it all begin? What happened in kindergarten? Oh, I'm gonna say she picked me first for her kickball team at recess. Oh, and that's how it happened. You've been inseparable ever since. You're always over at each other's other houses. Excuse me. Her moms have become surrogate parents to you, and your mom and dad to her. In third grade, when you broke your arm, Allison stayed with you in the nurse's office until your dad came to take you to the hospital. In seventh grade, when Allison was upset because she didn't make the show choir, you took her out for ice cream to make her feel better. Of course, she made show choir the next year. She has an incredible singing voice. And the night before you start high school, you and Allison went to the elementary school playground and swung on the swings for hours. Neither of you said a word about how nervous you both were about starting high school, but you didn't need to. Each of you just knew how the other was feeling without needing any special abilities. And last summer, when you had your first episode of clairvoyance, the first thing you did after you got home was text Allison to tell her you needed to talk. But when you picked up your phone, you saw there already was a message from Allison saying she needed to talk to you. Allison had an odd experience that day, too. When she was walking around downtown, she saw Mackenzie coming out of the store and wanted to get away, but Mackenzie didn't seem to notice Allison at all. In fact, she walked straight past her without even looking. It wasn't that Mackenzie was pretending not to notice Allison so she can snub her. It was that Mackenzie didn't see her. Turns out Allison's special ability is invisibility. So you and Allison have been through a lot. Do you feel your friendship is still as strong as it's ever been? Well, do we? Do we? Of course. There's never going to be anyone that knows me as well as Allison does. I can't imagine not being friends with her. Or definitely, sure, we're into different things now, but we've got so much history that we'll always be friends. Or I feel like we're growing apart. I don't want to tell her though. It's probably annoying. I'm gonna stop. Well, she is a good friend from kindergarten, so I'm gonna say I feel like we're growing apart. I don't want to tell her though. Bum. Sounds pretty awkward. Why don't you want to tell Allison how you feel? It would be too mean. I don't want to hurt her feelings. Or awkward is right. How to even begin a conversation like that? Or I don't want to make waves. We've been friends for years. I don't want to change that. I'm gonna say awkward is right. How do you even begin a conversation like boom? Maybe you're right. It would be really hard to tell Allison to go away, especially because she seems to want to spend even more time with you lately. Better to avoid it until you really have to say something. No matter what happens, you know Allison always has your back. You're sure she will help you by following Will invisibly for a little while. You catch sight of Allison across the room near the windows. She is tall and blonde, always easy to spot. Just as you're about to wave to her, though, you stop. It looks like she's talking to the principal, Mr. Pierce. Or rather, Mr. Pierce is talking to her, and Mr. Pierce is not happy. Not that Mr. Pierce is ever really happy. Randall Pierce is the new principal. He just started this year. He's full of plans to turn Kingsport High around. Raising standardized test scores, making sure everyone gets into college, reducing behavior problems, making Kingsport High the best school in the whole state. The highest praise you can possibly get from Mr. Pierce is to be called a model citizen. He's very big on citizenship. There are rumors he wants to run for governor in a couple years. Oh! When you see him now, he's standing over Allison, somehow managing to look taller than her, even though he's a couple inches shorter. I've got your number, Faulkner, Mr. Pierce says, beady eyes full of suspicion. You think you can get away with this? You think you can just steal from people and nobody will see you? Wait, what? Fear thumps in your chest. Just how much does Mr. Pierce know about the student's abilities? Does he really know about Allison's? Does he know about yours? And does he really think Allison stole the iPhone? That's entirely wrong. But you don't have time to worry about that right now. Will's seen Mr. Pierce yelling at Allison too, and he's starting to slink away. Like a slinky down the stairs. Well, which means you're almost certainly right. He was the one who stole Haley's phone. You also know Allison can't really defend herself. She's way too shy. You recognize the deer in headlights look in her eyes, and you know there's no way she's going to be able to speak up. So it's up to you. What are you going to do about it? Well, either I'm going to grab Will and start hauling him over to Mr. Pierce, or I'm just going to step in and start talking. I should be able to make a convincing speech, or I've got a clever plan. I'm going to say, I've got a clever plan. You do, you always do. Hey, Haley, you call, catch, because clever plans always work. What? For a second, Haley's confused at your sudden change of direction, but she does what you're supposed to do when someone says catch. She raises her hand and catches and flails aimlessly. And what she catches you from, which you've just thrown at her. The cafeteria is dead silent now, and all eyes are on you, including Mr. Pierce's beady, suspicious ones. What's your ringtone? You ask Haley. That's when the light bulb goes on in her head, metaphorically of course. To literally turn lights and off, you'll need your friend Jessica to use her ability. Oh. A slow grin crosses Haley's face as she says, somewhere over the rainbow, and starts to dial your phone. Across the room, Will's face pales. He starts to bolt, except it's really hard to bolt when there's a crowd of gawkers around you. The opening notes of Somewhere Over the Rainbow come bouncing up into the cafeteria from Will's backpack, of course. To catch a thief. Yay! It's all over after that. Will can't possibly get away, not with the entire high school and Mr. Pierce right there in a few seconds. Will's in front of the principal, and Allison is dodging behind you to get away. You're the lawbreaker, Nichols, says Mr. Pierce. Each consonant is sharply enunciated, every word spoken clearly enough that it can be heard across the whole cafeteria. Nobody does that at my school and gets away with it. I'm going to call the police. For now, report to room 014. Miss Clay will supervise you until the police arrive. Those are the words that would send a chill through any Kingsport student. Room 014 is a detention room, and Miss Clay is the person most likely to be on duty there. She is the fiercest and most intimidating of the math teachers. As Will slinks away and the buzz of the cafeteria noise starts to rise around you again, Mr. Pierce flexes you with a very intense stare. Piercing, even, you'd say, if you weren't aware of what a horrible pun that is. And if you weren't feeling the faintest of shivers up your spine, as he says, I'm watching you, Sensei. Bum, bum, bum. You're gonna have to wait till next time to see what happens. What's going to happen? Here on Sensei Pong. Like and subscribe.